So, was there a deal made to get Ed Case to drop out of the congressional race? And what does his former opponent, Republican Congressman Charles Dejoux, say about today's developments? Our team coverage continues now with KITV4's Keoki Kerr.
Well, Pamela, Ed Case says there was no deal. Case told KITV4 tonight that he made his own decision, consulting his family and friends, and says he did not discuss it with any elected officials or their representatives. He told me, quoting here, "I didn't ask anyone for anything and expect nothing." Ed Case's departure from the congressional race means Colleen Hanabusa won't have a big primary battle now unless another well-known Democrat enters the field. Republican Congressman Charles Dejoux, who just beat Case and Hanabusa in last week's special election, had this reaction.
I guess I was a little bit surprised in that, Ed has always contended, as has the White House and the National Democratic Committee and the Democratic Congressional Committee, that Ed was the strongest Democrat to run against me, and he was the only Democrat who could beat me.
Dejoux and Case, who led the polls ahead of Hanabusa before the special election, spent much of the campaign criticizing each other, leaving Hanabusa out of the political line of fire. And Dejoux and Case both considered their political strength to come from independent voters.
I've always tried to court all the voters of Hawaii. Perhaps without Ed in there, it makes it a little bit easier.
Easier, Dejoux says, because he feels more of Case's supporters might be swayed to support him rather than Hanabusa.
Ed has approached trying to court the moderates and independents, whereas perhaps Colleen has been more centering her campaign on the more liberal wing of the electorate.
But now Hanabusa theoretically won't have to spend large amounts of money and effort to win a primary battle, so she'll be stronger going into the general election against Dejoux. Privately, Republican political operatives in Hawaii say they're happy Hanabusa is now their major opposition because they consider her to be a weaker candidate than Case. Said one GOP operative, "She's just a treasure trove. We were licking our chops, but when she was running third in the congressional race, we didn't attack her." Now, I talked to a number of top Democrats tonight who told me they don't believe there was any deal that Case received in exchange for dropping out. One of them said he was actually standing near some of Hanabusa's top campaign people at the Democratic convention today, and they seemed genuinely surprised and even burst into tears when Case made his announcement, indicating there was no prearranged deal made. Pamela?
Licking their chops. Keoki, so what's next for Ed Case?
Well, we don't know. He has said he is not ruling out never running. He says he may run for another office in the future, but people who watch politics in this town point out he'd be a strong contender in the Honolulu mayor's race, considering more than 47,000 people in urban Honolulu just voted for Case last week, and that he represented the windward side in rural Oahu in Congress until 2006. He is well known on this island, and with a handful of other politicians running for the mayor's job, he could split the vote and Case might win this time around. Keoki Kerr, KITV4 News.